fluency, and intelligence. They are a source of pleasure, and you must associate with them to share in the prosperity they draw upon themselves. All positive qualities can affect us, but taking advantage of the emotional side of this osmosis may be difficult. Now I put down 5 ways to affect positive change through your associations. If you are miserly by nature, associate with the generous and they will affect you, opening up everything that is tight and restricted in you. Only generous souls attain greatness. If you are gloomy, gravitate to the cheerful. If you are prone to isolation, force yourself to befriend the gregarious. Never associate with those who share your defects. They will reinforce what holds you back. One simple example is the meth head who tries to break out of the cycle of drugs and still just hangs out with his other meth head friends. It's just a very difficult environment. And 5, only create associations with positive affinities. So to quote Balthasar Gracian once again, recognize the fortunate so that you may choose their company and the unfortunate so that you may avoid them. Misfortune is usually the crime of folly, and among those who suffer from it, there is no malady more contagious. Never open your door to the least of misfortunes, for if you do, many others will follow in its train. Do not die of another's misery. That's it for this law. If you seek more soulful reviews, you might just want to subscribe. Thanks for watching.
Here are 6 reasons why the silent treatment can harm you.
My husband just wasn't lasting long enough for me to finish. It was frustrating. I love him, but it got to a point where we were both avoiding intimacy. And then he got prescribed this SexRx plus climax control pill through Hims. This pill combines tadalafil, an ingredient to help men get hard and stay hard, with PE treatment to help it last way longer. And the best part is 100% online. No doctor's office, no pharmacy runs, just a simple intake form, and then a licensed provider recommended the right treatments for him. And now he's lasting longer, he's more confident, and we're actually excited to be intimate again. So if you're struggling with early climax, check out treatment through Hims today. It's seriously saved our sex life.
Many psychologists classify the silent treatment as a form of manipulation.
The 40 Laws of Power by Robert Greene. Law number 26. Keep your hands clean. You must seem a paragon of civility and efficiency. Your hands are never soiled by mistakes and nasty deeds. Maintain such a spotless appearance by using others as scapegoats and cat's paws to disguise your involvement. Conceal your mistakes. Have a scapegoat around to take the blame. Our good name and reputation depend more on what we conceal than on what we reveal. Everyone makes mistakes, but those who are truly clever manage to hide them and to make sure someone else is blamed. A convenient scapegoat should always be kept around for such moments. Understanding the workings of power and the importance of appearances, shop around for the most convenient head and have it served up immediately. Occasional mistakes are inevitable. Handle them. People of power are undone not by the mistakes they make, but by the way they deal with them. The mistake does not vanish with an apology. It deepens and festers. It's better to cut it off instantly, distract attention from yourself, and focus attention on a convenient scapegoat. Do not give people time to ponder your responsibility or your possible incompetence. The bloody sacrifice of the scapegoat seems a barbaric relic of the past, but the practice lives on to this day, if indirectly and symbolically. Since power depends on appearances, and those in power must seem never to make mistakes, the use of scapegoats is as popular as ever. Besides conveniently shifting blame, a scapegoat can serve as a warning to others. Example of Cesare Borgia. Robert Greene took the following right out of Niccolo Machiavelli's The Prince. Cesare Borgia used the scapegoat to gain control of large parts of Italy. He gave Ramiro di Orco, a cruel and vigorous man, absolute powers. With extreme violence, he would enforce Cesare's rule with brutal justice and grow hated by the local population. To guard his own reputation, to avoid being associated with Orco's gruesome actions, to calm the people's scream for revenge, he publicly publicly stated that he had in no way ordered Orko to do what he did, and imprisoned, beheaded, and blamed him. Chesedek had painted a pleasing picture for the public, who not only wished Orko's death, but that his cruelty be repaid. Next to his headless body, Orko's head was spiked up on a pike. To quote Achilles fighting Hector at the temple of the sun god, "Why would I kill you now, young prince, if no one sees how you fall?" Chesedek built a spectacle for everyone to see.
What did any of these points describe?
Not only can you use others as scapegoats, but you can make them your cat's paw. In the fable, the monkey grabs the paw of his friend the cat and uses his paw to get it to fish chestnuts out of the pie, so as to get the nuts without hurting himself. If there is something unpleasant or unpopular that needs to be done, it is far too risky for you to do the work yourself. You need a cat's paw, someone who does the dirty work for you. The cat's paw grabs what you need, hurts whom you need hurt, and keeps people from noticing that you are the one responsible. Let someone else be the executioner or the bearer of bad news, while you bring only joy and glad tidings. Cleopatra was more than only a woman. She was a queen, an empress, a goddess. Her appearance would never be the same, only ever wearing the nicest robes and accessoires. Probably one of the most dangerous seductresses in history. Like many women still today, she used her feminine qualities to get men to do as she desired. At the age of 10, she witnessed her father, Ptolemy XII, get overthrown and banished by her elder sisters. Berenice emerged as the leader of the rebellion, had her other sisters imprisoned, and her own husband murdered to secure her own rule. This extreme violence on one of her own made the public resent her, and 4 years later, Ptolemy could return, beheading the other sisters. In 51 BC, Ptolemy died and left 4 remaining children as heirs. The eldest son, the 11 years old Ptolemy XIII, married the elder sister Cleopatra. Incest was common in order to keep royal positions and thus power in the family. In a fight for power, Cleopatra was exiled. None dared to make the same mistake as Berenice by killing one of their own. It would inevitably shed a dark light on the murder. Therefore, Cleopatra bided her time and schemed. When she heard of Julius Caesar's plan to make Egypt a Roman colony, she arranged to see him, seducing and thereafter using him as a tool to destroy her siblings and other enemies to get the throne for herself. In 41 BC, she would use the same tactics on Mark Antony. She was able to reduce both of these very powerful and dangerous men to her cat's paws, doing exactly what she wanted them to. And that's it for this one. However, there is an additional lesson for men to be learned. Even a great man such as Julius Caesar was tamed by feminine charm. Be wary of the Cleopatras in today's society. Their numbers have grown enormously, while the odds for them to become a Caesar are constantly diminishing. As always, thanks for watching.
They infect the very soul of the people that they touch. How to recognize an infector? They draw misfortune upon themselves. They have a turbulent past. They have a long line of broken relationships. They have
If police have reasonable suspicion to believe you're involved in a crime, they're legally allowed to detain you for a short period of time.
this is part of
Reasonable suspicion requires less evidence than probable cause, but it basically means the officer has some specific reason to believe that you're
Maybe some people are still under the rubble and that situation is developing. We are expecting more from the authorities about this attack that has killed 15 people so far in the town of London, in the Fars province, to the south of the country. But we have also a wave of attack that took place just less than an hour ago, about 40 minutes ago. Here in Tehran, we had at least 7 loud explosions in West.
this osmosis may be difficult. No, I put down
Maybe some people are still under the rubble and that situation.
Brings an end to the 12-day war. In January 2026, growing unrest inside Iran leads to anti-government protests. These are framed by some as coordinated by external forces, and by others as spontaneous uprisings in response to poor economic conditions. Seeing a possible opportunity for regime change, Trump encourages Iranians who oppose the government to continue their uprising.
to all Iranian patriots, keep protesting, take over your institutions if possible, help is on its way.
But that help never arrives. Instead, the US began moving military assets throughout the region. Israel, though not at the table, is also talking to the United States.
The narrative that was pushed by the Israelis that depicted Iran as so weak that just a small push would cause the government there to either collapse and implode or lead to their capitulation. They're already so weak. Look at all of the protests inside the country. They're about to fall. Why don't you just do a little bit and then you can take credit for the entire collapse of this regime? But it was a complete miscalculation.
For weeks, the US and Iran seem to be edging close to a deal in Geneva. Oman's Minister of Foreign Affairs and Chief Mediator, Mehmet al-Husseini, is optimistic a deal is within reach. But on February 28, 2026, on the eve of the agreement being signed, Israel and the United States launch a full-scale attack on Iran. Diplomacy is over, and Washington has a stark warning for Tehran.
Lay down your arms. You will be treated fairly with total immunity, or you will face certain death.
I think President Trump made a good effort to try to start a new set of negotiations and didn't work. So I think he took the negotiations to the next level or to a different dimension and used military force as a matter of trying to compel the Iranians to a better solution.
But for many in Iran, they believe Israel finally convinces Washington to do what it couldn't do alone.
So it is now apparent that the United States had intentions or was persuaded by the Israelis to go into policies that from any analytical perspective does not even serve the interests of the United States. At the end of the day, the current war serves only the interests of Netanyahu, not the American people, not the United States government, and certainly not the people of our region.
For over 40 years, learners have depended on 5-Star, the only school supplies backed with a guarantee to last all year. We make it trustworthy. You make it noteworthy. 5-Star, built strong to last long. Lasts all year. Guaranteed.
Here you go, miss. Now what?
Over at carparts.com. Check this out.
They have over 1 million quality parts
That are guaranteed to fit
at incredible prices?
and hassle-free returns.
I guess you didn't need my help after all.
No, I just use carparts.com.
Available at your fingertips 24/7.
Now that's my speed.
On the first day of the